What's going on, everybody? Like she said, you know, I'm a Jersey kid to the core. Just graduated not too long ago, so I really resonate and connect with all of you guys. I'm not going to speak for too long. I got to catch a flight in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I really want to set the framework for some Q&A, because I think Q&A and just having being in a smaller environment, we can really accomplish a lot more when we're having that back and forth dialogue. But I'm going to tell you a story today, just mainly about the value of life and how it could help you guys out a little bit. So when I finished at Monmouth University in May of 2015, 2 days later, my mom, my dad, my grandmom, and a bunch of nurses from Villanova University, we went on a missionary trip to Haiti. Our mission was to give out medicine and the gospel to different churches and different orphanages across the country. Sorry, yeah, I'm gonna let him get a little settled. Go ahead, just go ahead. Everybody get settled. Huh? College, right? Yeah. Look, I was coming in 10, 15 minutes late, so I resonate with all y'all. So yeah, our mission was to give out medicine to different people across the country. And it was the most beautiful week of my life. You know, I really got to I'm Haitian, so I got to get really ingrained with my culture and figure out the difference between their people and our people as well. And so in the middle of the night, it was May 29th, 2015, it was 2:30 in the morning, we were playing a card game called Spades. Most people should know it. Playing. There was a storm that night. It was very hot and muggy in the country, so because of the storm, we opened up our steel door so we could let a breeze come in. While we're playing cards, any of you guys ever seen like an electric fly swatter before? Yeah. So there's a lot of bugs in Haiti, so we were always hitting fly swatter. So while we're playing, I hear a loud pow. And my natural reaction was, who the hell is hitting flies at 2:30 in the morning? And a second later, all I see is a boot kick through the screen door and 8 people rush in behind him. So that pow was a gunshot. I'm sitting in a chair right here. The guy sitting across the table from me saves my life. He jumps out of his chair and tackles me out of my chair. I hit the ground. The first guy who shot through the door shoots at us. There's a bullet hole right in the wall right here, and we're laying on the ground right here. There's a girl next to me. She has a shawl on. They rip the shawl into pieces, and they hog tie everybody. So tied at your wrist, tied at your ankles, and then feet tied to your hands, and then blindfolded. So it was at that moment, I thought that was it. I thought I was dead. I thought this was the end of it. I came to peace with the fact that I was gonna die. The thing that honestly made me happy was my little brother had actually just gotten drafted to the Oakland Raiders about 2 weeks prior to that, and he wasn't on the trip with us. I was just extremely grateful that he was going to live on and be able to tell our family's story. So the Bandits, they went through the house for about 45 minutes. In that process, a lady got punched in the face. They attempted to rape another lady, going room to room, stealing everything. We had a pastor who was staying with us, Pastor Cesar. He was in a room where if you didn't know there was a bedroom back there, you would never check back there. So he's hiding under the bed, and he calls the police saying, like, come help us, we're under attack. It's a third world country. Police say, no shot, we're coming to that area, like, no way. So instead, he calls the neighbor up saying, go outside with your pistol and empty the clip out in the air. So from my perspective, I'm laying in the front, still blindfolded, crying, pissing myself. And outside, I hear, an entire clip being emptied into the air. So I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm thinking the country's under attack. I don't even speak Creole, so I have no idea what anyone's saying. It's a complete state of just utter confusion. Once he heard the gunshots go off, we had thought that the bandits had left, but on our compound, there was the house we were staying at, and there was another building where we kept the medical supplies, and we had 8 beds there to treat patients that came in on our compound that were sick. So they were in the medical area stealing all the medicine and all of that. While that had happened, my dad had untied himself in the bedroom. You got to think about it from his perspective. A dad wakes up in the middle of the night to gunshots in the room where his son was staying, but his son isn't there, and the only thing he hears is his son screaming. So he unties himself, crawls out to make sure nobody got hit by any of the bullets that's been flying across the house. closes the steel door, puts the deadbolt in, and starts to untie me. So he's untying me, and all of a sudden you hear doom, 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 loud bang on the door. And it's like you hear a whole bunch of screaming in Creole, and so everybody's trying to be quiet, like, we're safe now, the steel door's shut. All of a sudden, pss, 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 it starts shooting out the windows. So at this point, I'm like, I mean, there's bullets flying across the house, and it's like, what's gonna happen? So my dad's like, okay. Opens up the door, they rough him up a little bit, tie him back up, throw him on top of me, and go through the house again. I mean, it's unreal. It was about a 7-minute window of, okay, I think we're free again, to right back to the nightmare again. They go through the house again. The pastor who's under the bed, now he calls the prime minister, who he had done the prayer that morning at his office, and said, send the police, we are under attack. So you finally hear sirens in the distance, and the bandits scurry off. Police come, they're there for 3 to 5 minutes, said take pictures on your phones and your cameras if you got them, and bring them by the station and we'll see what we can do about it, and left. And like, that's the country that we live, like that's not the country, that's the world that we live in. And I remember, like, one of the most defining moments of my life is that moment of hugging my mom, my dad, and my grandma, sitting there bawling our eyes out, just being just beyond grateful for life. So that had happened, and that happened on a Thursday night, and I had to start grad school on Monday. And like, I was, as you can imagine, pretty messed up with PTSD, all types of just, my mental was completely messed up. But I came back with a whole different type of mindset when it came to football. You know, me personally, from a football perspective, I was a bench player. Like in college, like I literally rode the bench. I didn't even get to travel with the team until my junior year. Like I was trash, like straight up. And finally, like my senior year, first game, I got my first catch. Second game, got my first touchdown. After that, started every game after that. And having that story, just having that experience happen to me, like in the back of my mind, realizing just how grateful I am with life, it was honestly like, you can put me through any workout, any type of hell, you can put me through any type of situation, I promise you, I'll make it out of it. Because nothing was as bad as being, you know, being helpless. I'm supposed to be a 6'5", 250-pound football player, and I'm getting hogtied and blindfolded and literally just completely vulnerable to the person who I'm supposed to be. So honestly, the best part about like a terrible experience like that happening to me was that it got really quiet up here. Like, I really don't care about what anybody says about anything. And this kind of transitions into this class being a communications class, and I know you guys are talking about social media and things like that. So when it comes to just taking advantage of every opportunity, after that happened, like nothing could stop me. When it came to going to the NFL, I knew I had to take advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime and the lifetime of the opportunity. I knew it wouldn't be around forever. So, I mean, I kid you not, from January to April, the time I had to train to go to the NFL, like I put grad school on hold, had 4 months. I trained for 14 hours a day. The place I trained at was an hour and a half away from where I stayed. So I had 3 hours commute every day and an hour lunch. That's 4 hours of just dead time. Most people be, you know, BSing, you know, messing around, whatever. That time I was listening to podcasts, audiobooks. I like still from that point till now, I can't tell you what type of new music is out because all I listen to is podcasts and audiobooks because I just know what type of opportunity I have and I'm trying to take advantage of it. I don't waste my time doing BS like that or BS like, I mean, some people are passionate about music and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being passionate about music and I'm not trying to put my passion on anybody. But with me, it really just comes down to back what I just said, taking advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime in that lifetime of that opportunity. So now when it kind of comes down to social media and like, I was actually just talking to him before we kind of started, I've really got a kick out of a guy, raise your hand if you know a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, dude, he's awesome. Like being in a communications class, like I know a lot of you guys are freshmen, like consume his content. Because you guys don't realize the opportunity you guys have being this young, one, and just having as much free time as you have. Most of you guys don't think, yeah, I'm in college, I'm busy, like life is crazy, like there's so much going on, I'm so stressed out. Like trust me, I remember being a freshman, but take it from me, a person who's done it already and like I'm pretty close to an age to you guys. You guys have time to figure out what you're passionate about and figure out how to just double down on it and not think about that instant gratification. You know, where society's kind of come to is that we think we got to make things happen tomorrow. We got to get rich tomorrow. We got to make $100,000 as soon as I get a job or as soon as anything. You know, we got to get, I mean, I just drove through the parking lot. I seen some of the cars out there and they're insane. Like, I mean, some people are just trying to, honestly, it comes down to keeping up with the Joneses. Like from a society perspective, back to the Haiti story and how everything got quiet, stuff like that shouldn't matter. When you start to, you know, posture to be someone who you're not really, but because it looks cool in the eyes of Sally Sue or whoever, it's really taking you away from that ultimate end goal. Like if right now you guys double down on your passions, you know, some of you guys, I know Tish was talking about, you guys are learning about podcasts, learning about different things on social media, learning about videography and things like that. Really double down on what you're passionate about. You have the time to literally take that and take it to wherever you want to take it to. And most people wonder like, oh, like I don't know what to do. And like, it's not a victim mentality. It's honestly, it's a not knowing mentality. And I'm here to tell you that one, you have time, and two, really just like the thing that I'm really doing, that's why there's a camera right here, and a voice, whatever you call this, a microphone. It's because I'm trying to document everything I'm doing. So one thing that kind of Gary Vaynerchuk talks about is really, it's about micro content and reverse kind of engineering your documentation. Most people think inherently that you have to be creative. Like in order to make it big on social media, I gotta take out a phone and make a video, like do something funny, do the shiggy dance or do something like that. And that's how you go viral. Like it's serious. And that's how people think. And then that's what we consume every day. So that's what we think in order to be successful on social media, that we have to figure out how we go viral. When inherently, every single one of you guys are creative and special in your own way. Passionate about something in your own way, can do something dope like in your own way. And if you can change the mentality of that, you don't gotta just, what's up man, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, sir.
Nice to meet you. So most people think that you gotta like, you know, like I said, get in front of a camera and just say something funny or something like that. When in reality, if you just document everything that you're doing, you know, you're starting a new job or you're starting a new podcast. Like I'm starting a new podcast. We did our first episode yesterday. It's called the Not Just Jocks podcast. But if you document that entire journey that you're doing, trust me, you can take so many forms and different versions of micro content and turn it into a beautiful story. Like, for example, I'm gonna take this entire speech and once we do a little bit of Q&A and everything like that, I'm gonna use it as probably 20 to 25 different pieces of micro content. Most people think that, most people start a podcast and like raise your hand if you know a friend who started a podcast. Raise your hand if when they do a podcast episode on their IG story, they put new podcast, link in bio. That's what everybody does. Raise your hand if you actually went to that link in their bio. I mean, I don't personally. So most of the things that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about is stop creating friction for that end user. Like most people, for example, when you create a video, raise your hand if when you watch IG videos or Facebook videos, you watch it with the sound off because you're in class, because you're in work, because whatever. 70% of videos that are watched on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram are watched with the sound off. That's why you see the big people like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Now This or BuzzFeed and things like that. You know, you see those subtitles at the bottom of the video and it's like, oh, that's kind of dope. Like, why would they do something like that? Because you're reading them and you're not actually listening to that video with the sound on. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you do stuff like that, it honestly, this is probably the best example that I can take from Gary Vaynerchuk, and I'm gonna stop plugging him in here like that but I see him as a mentor to me. I consume his stuff every single day. So he did an interview with YG, the rapper. Put it on YouTube. That video on YouTube got 29,000 views. It's like, it's kind of low for him, whatever. He took a 1-minute segment from just a small little piece of like a question he asked him and an answer that YG had, put it on his Instagram account. He got 2.9 million views. That's the power of micro content. Now those people who are watching those small 30-second, 40-second clips on Instagram, like, oh shit, where's this coming from? Like, let me go check him out on YouTube now. And honestly, that's the power of social media. Like, we live in an age, like, you know, we all grew up, most people, like, as this age group, we all grew up probably going outside, playing outside, doing stuff like that. And our parents and the older generation is like, oh, this new day and age, everybody's always on their phone, always doing X, always doing that. And it sounds stupid, but honestly, that's where the world's going. Like, you can honestly get with it or get lost. Like, that's straight up what it is. Like, think about the most big companies, they go out of business because they're putting all their shit on billboards, commercials and stuff like that, when in reality, you're driving, you're looking at your phone. A commercial comes on TV, you're changing the channel. Like, we live in a world of just straight up speed. And it's about creating that non-friction environment for that end user consuming your content. So what I guess I'm trying to say, just from a thesis perspective, like, find what you're passionate about, find whatever platform that you guys learn in this class that you really like, and double down on it. But then also, don't get naive to all the other platforms out there. People are like, I don't do Facebook anymore because my parents are on there. Yeah, okay, whatever. Facebook is still the most powerful platform out there, no matter what. And if any of you guys in here have a type of business or e-commerce business, I would really, really recommend to you guys look into Facebook ads and Instagram ads, because they are the cheapest form of just underpriced attention. Just, there's so much attention on Instagram and Facebook and no one is using it. The company, have you guys ever heard of the site Wish?
Yeah, our shop was Lakers jersey. Yeah.
Lakers jersey, 97% of their advertising is done on Instagram and Facebook ads. They're $1 billion company, straight up. Like, that's where it comes from. And you go back, you reverse it back in time. Amazon got big by Google ads. Google ads is now a little bit too expensive. Facebook ads, starting to kind of get expensive. Instagram ads, still kind of cheap. It's that cheap, there's just so much attention there. You can spend $10 and run a Facebook ad for 10 days. It might only touch a small amount of people, but there's fortune in it, I'm telling you. And like, I don't want to kind of scramble on too long, but I'd love to open this up for some Q&A because I think it could be very valuable to you guys, because I think I have a lot of stuff that I can be valuable to you. But if you don't want to, it's completely fine, because 98% of you guys probably won't use none of the stuff that I just told you. But that 2% who does use it, like, follow up with me, connect with me, and I'd love to help you guys out. What's up?
Two things. Like, the first thing that you said about, like, stop comparing your life to, like, what you see, like, on the internet and stuff like that. That's basically what just made me, like, delete my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed I got caught up in, like, watching everybody else and what they're doing and stuff like that. And I could be taking my time and using it as, like, a videographer. That's what I do.
You're passionate about videography?
Very passionate.
So how about, instead of consuming content on Instagram, this is one of the dopest things that I learned from Gary Vaynerchuk. I probably learned it about a month ago. Oh yeah, one, you gotta make the content, but two, literally go on your phone, go on the hashtags page, type in videography, type in video editor, type in micro content, type in content. Literally, he calls it the $1.80 strategy. You literally, like, most people spam on social media. Like, I wanna get followers, so they go on the biggest pages and type, hey, follow me and I'll follow you back, or follow for follow, or bullshit like that, or a whole bunch of hashtags at the bottom of someone's picture, or like, I mean, I have a verified account. People always ask me, hey, I'll pay you for your account. Just trying to get that cheap, fast way at doing it. If you're very organic about it, because, I mean, deep down at the core, everybody's genuine, I think. So now you take, so what the $1.80 strategy says is you go to those hashtags that I mentioned, you take 10 of the hashtags in like a videographer mindset, or the type of people you want to videotape. So say you want to do basketball or football or something like that. You take all the different basketball hashtags, and now you take the top 10 posts on 10, or no, you take the top 9 posts on 10 different hashtags, and you leave your 2 cents as a comment on it. Just straight up being genuine, not like thumbs up, being like, wow, that's a dope post, like blah, 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 blah. Or like I just did it to someone who, because I like to travel. I did literally go on travel pages, and someone was at some dope place. I was like, wow, where's this at? You should check out a place called Havasupai Falls in Arizona, because it's one of the greatest places I've ever been. Now you get into a very organic, genuine conversation with that person. Now you're gonna probably get 2 or 3 follows from it, because people see you commenting on someone's like this and, wow, this guy's kind of insightful. But you do that every single day. 90 times a day, you add 2 cents. I promise you, you do that for a year straight, you'll probably add 5 to 10,000 followers. You'll be a lot more ingrained into the videography community. Now, if on your page, when people who are already, like you're already, say you're doing videography stuff, people who see you commenting, they go to your page and like, what's your name?
Jamal.
Oh shit, Jamal is a videography. I'm gonna hire him.
That's crazy that you said that, because like I deleted my personal Instagram account and I kept my videography account. And like I started taking it a whole lot more serious. So I went up to Monopoly, New Jersey, and I met a guy by the name of Michael Lancaster. He works out like NBA players and like D1 college players and stuff like that. And I used that as an opportunity to network. When I networked with him, he put me on like editing videos for Kyrie Irving, people like that. And once I did that, like my followers like
skyrocket. And now another thing you do is, so you want to videotape like some more famous people like that, right? Or edit people like that. Most people, when they approach situations like that, they always approach it with the approach of, what can I get out of this person? What can I get out of this person? What can I get out of this person? What can I get out of that person? Instead, you switch it up. How can I add value to you? Hey, Kyrie Irving, I make the dopest videos out there, bro. I'll literally make you videos for a year for free.
Like when you said, that's kind of like everyone will come to him with that same kind of intention. Like,
no one's doing it. Everyone else is, yo, bro, you're sick. Like, can I help you out? Or can you help me out do X, Y, and Z? Not too many people are doing it, bro. I promise you. Like, inherently, it's a natural thing. People figure, like, when you go to you ever been to like a networking event or like a job fair or something like that? You go to a job fair and you're literally sitting in the corner and you're like, oh, there's that person. Let me see what I can get out of him. Oh, there's that person. Let me see what I can get out of him. Switch your mindset up of, how do I add value to you? Like, straight up, I promise you everything will change. Like, I promise you. You said you had 2 questions. What was your second one?
Oh no, that basically led me into like the next topic I was talking about, like how serious I started taking it. Because at first I was just like, I go to class, go to work, and just chill. And then when I feel like making a video, I feel like filming something, I would do it. But now it's just like, I cut a lot of like BS out. Like a lot of my time is spent in the media lab, and like filming people at their games and stuff like that.
That's fine. Bro, if you just keep adding videos, adding content, on top of that, document your journey doing it. Like, you're doing it to a lot of other people, document yourself doing it as well. Like, the whole entire process. So when you do make it, when you do have 1 million followers and you're the guy who's LeBron James' personal video guy, people can go back 5 years ago when you were a freshman at Stockton and like, oh shit, like this whole process has been amazing. But yeah, what's up, bro?
So I'm starting a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to know, like, you said putting the subtitle at the bottom. How do you go about doing that?
So one, Google it. It costs $1. Literally, you send a video to this one company, it costs $1. They'll come back, they'll send your video back with subtitles on it. A big recommendation I'd say for podcasts, I just learned this from a guy. Most people, like to get your podcast out there, it's really hard to get someone to sit down for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, say, check out my podcast, unless they're driving or something like that. I got a guy, he's been doing a podcasting for probably about a year or two, and he gets about 300 listens per podcast. He finally decided to, he interviewed some lady who was, she did sports or something like that. She's an athlete. And for Facebook, he made a highlight video. Like, he did like a 3-minute cutout of like a good part conversation from the podcast, cut that out, made a video from, she was like a soccer player, so it had highlights of her playing soccer. Then it'd be panned back into a video of them doing the interview. Then it panned back to her being a soccer player, her doing everything in her life, pictures, everything, like a slideshow.
Like illustrations?
Like all types of things, just like a 3-minute montage of the podcast guest's life, and put it on Facebook. She shared it to her page because if you did a podcast like that and somebody made a video for like that, because naturally, and it's nothing wrong with being egocentric, we're so self-centered. You love that. You know what I'm saying? You want to blast that out to your people. You want to blast that out to your friends. So now you're doubling your content. And 2, that 3-minute video, you don't have to get your entire 40-minute podcast transcribed. You get that 3-minute video transcribed. So now when your classmates are in class, they're scrolling down their feed, their Instagram feed, or the 1-minute video. So if you don't like Facebook, Instagram, they go down their feed and they go, what's your name?
Yeah.
So, oh, look at Joe's. And they don't stop because they don't have to turn on the sound. Most people don't even watch videos because they have to turn on the sound to even figure out what the hell the people are saying. Like, you've done it before. Everybody's done it before. So if they just look, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Dope. That video got, that podcast, little 3-minute clip got 5,000 views, whereas
He's only getting 300.
just like that. Now those 5,000 people are exposed to that podcast, and now you're growing organically your entire base.
Whatever you talking about, just have like illustrations of that go up, and that's like attention drawing in itself.
Exactly. And then now, if you do like, you do vlogs too, or anybody do vlogs in here?
No, I'm still like,
Okay, podcast. Okay, work. But yeah, bro, trust me, like, I literally just,
Yeah,
you said you got a vlog?
on YouTube.
One thing I would recommend, do you use music for, like, on the background of it?
Yeah.
What music do you use?
Like whatever won't be copyrighted. I make videos of like people going places. Like my most recent one was for a music festival I went to.
Which one?
Guffball.
That's dope.
Yeah, I went to the whole weekend.
That's fire. So what I recommend is, this is like, I thought I was in the city yesterday and like I was filming a vlog and I thought of it and it just hit me. How many SoundCloud artists do you know out there? There's so many of them, right? Some of them have some dope music. I don't have my phone, it's over there. I literally was scrolling through Instagram. A girl who I went to high school with just released a super cool, chill song. I hit her up. I was like, hey, I love your song. Can I put it in my vlog? Boom. Now, every single vlog you do, you get a queue of just a whole bunch of different artists that you kind of like. That's kind of the vibe that goes to your vlog. Now, every time your vlog starts, what's your name?
Veronica.
So it says Dark Clouds by Veronica at Veronica at the bottom, like a small little animation comes up, then it goes down. That's the background song. Now, if you're Veronica, the SoundCloud artist, and you, Veronica, just blessed that SoundCloud artist by putting their song in it, back to how that makes people feel great. That makes them want to now take your vlog, post it out, because you're using their song. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not going to charge you money. They're a SoundCloud artist. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're looking for any avenue of exposure. You expose them, now they expose you. It's wild. Like, I literally thought of it yesterday. My mind went like, straight up. What's up, bro?
So, do you think like programs like Instagram TV and like Facebook Live are like the future of like modern like television, like how we consume like media, or is it just like a support system?
I think it's the support system or a crutch. Like Facebook Live and IG Live, they're both awesome. A lot of people don't do it as much because it can expose someone. Whereas a video like this can be edited. It can be edited to make you look as great as possible. You can do all the effects. IG Live, you stutter, you sneeze, you fart, you do something stupid in it. Like, if you don't care what people think, it's awesome because you can be as genuine as you want, and then you can post the content afterwards, and then you can, something that Gary Vee does I didn't even mention for his podcast, never sits down and does a podcast, but has a top podcast. He takes every single vlog, every keynote he does, every single thing he does, rips the audio from it, puts it on a podcast. Back to creating no friction for that end user. Some people don't want to watch YouTube, but some people like driving in the car. Like, I can't always watch his YouTube videos, and I'm not about to have his YouTube video playing while I'm in the car, but I can listen to his YouTube videos on his podcast. Most people won't do that because you might not get as many views and as many likes. And it goes back to not giving a crap about what people, like, straight up, what people say. Who cares? The more content you produce, the person who produces most content is going to win. Hold on, I didn't finish this question yet. And IGTV, I think it's awesome because you couldn't post a vlog on Instagram beforehand because you only can put out something for a minute. I don't know what the time limit is on IGTV, but you can put a long form video on there, and if you can get people to go to it, it's awesome. But I think where the future's going, and something that Gary Vee mentions as well, and I completely agree with him, is like those like Amazon Alexa skills and stuff like that, because, and like whatever the Siri home thing is, because where we're going in this world is straight speed, like speed. Like, you can get everything as fast as possible, and like I think they're making Alexa skills where you as a creator can make different Alexas. I have no idea how to do it yet, but I'm excited to learn. If anybody knows how to do it, please let me know, because that's where the future's going. Did that answer your question? What's up, bro?
So, like, the way I wanted to do my podcast is like, it was like as minimal editing as I need, because I want to be more raw and genuine. So how would you go about that? Because like the world's more tailor to the editing.
You can be. We did a podcast yesterday. We don't need. The only thing we need to edit is put our intro and our outro and like music in the background. If the beginning of your podcast career, I promise you, it's gonna, unless you're already just a good conversationalist or good at being with people, it's gonna be a little shaky, a little bit rusty but that's the beauty of it. There's beauty in the struggle. Like you post that now, most people stop after 3 months, and then it's like, I'm only getting like 40 views, 50 views, when your breakthrough might have been your next podcast. But there's beauty in that struggle. Like there's nothing wrong. As long as you're doing it, how did you guys plan on doing it? Like is it just you as the host?
No,
or
I got a co-host.
You got a co-host?
And she's, we like clash a little bit, but it's perfect. Like,
Okay, because it gets it going.
Like it's like, most people just like, when I talk, I kind of dominate the conversation.
Yeah, you're alpha.
And most people just like agree like, oh yeah, you're right. Whereas
But
like,
she's alpha as well.
it's like we dominate, so it's like a good ebb and flow.
Absolutely.
So it's like the way I wanted to do it was like as minimal editing as possible, but I'm trying to like.
I would use with 2 people. How we do it, we do.
I was on 2 camera views, but like.
Are you guys together every episode you record?
Well, I didn't start yet. I still buying equipment. Like, I just bought a microphone.
Okay.
I bought a MacBook. I gotta get a DTLR camera. I'm trying to get like quality so I can just take it with me and not use the school equipment. So.
That's what's up. And you don't have to, like, if you don't, like, from a money perspective, like, I try to do everything as cheap as possible. Like, you don't even really need a MacBook for it, but you could even use, like, you're a media guy. What's those mics called that have, like, those mics that look like that on it? Damn, I don't know what the hell it's called, but it's like, you can do multi-layered audio on it when you sit it in the middle of the table.
It's almost like it's a thing that you use for like conference calls and stuff.
Yes.
You can record a bunch of different audio.
Exactly, and when you bring it back to editing, you can mess with each line of audio, but not really.
In the one device.
Exactly, and you don't even need a computer. Like we did a podcast yesterday, we didn't even have a computer. But one thing we did that helps us flow, because we're both kind of alpha too. He's a former. It's actually her brother. Yeah. We use Google Docs. So we have like a script for our podcast, not like a script, but like how we want it to flow, like like an outline. But as we're going mid-podcast, we might be typing stuff. Like at the beginning, we'll say like, you take this question, I take this question. Like it has like Hakeem, Gordon. But we're in the middle of the podcast, and like something might have comes up, and like I'll type something like, yo, you should add something about that on there, because he can instantly see it on Google Docs. So it's just a live thing of the flow going down. And honestly, because I'm bad at talking over people. Like literally that was one of my 2019 New Year's resolutions, was like stop talking over people. And that like helps the flow a lot better. Really does.
Where do you think your life would be right now if that horrible incident didn't happen?
Honestly, I think everything happens for a reason, but I've always been, so I'm, full disclosure, I'm retiring actually from the NFL because I'm not passionate about football. I'm passionate about real estate and literally talking to groups like you guys. Like this is what lights me on fire. Like football, I don't like it. Like being straight up with you. And not just I don't like it. It's a job. Like the way someone looks at working at the way I don't watch football. The way someone looks at working at Wawa or McDonald's before getting to that big next step, that's the way I look at the NFL. But like most people look at life like you're laughing like that because you look at life like a big paycheck, and it's not about the RO.
You're right, but it's just weird that you described it as kind of working at Wawa.
Same exact thing. It's literally a job. It's a corporate job. It is a corporate. It's going. If it's not like the ROI, like the goal should be happiness, not to be a millionaire. Like I could keep playing. I could play football for another.
But football, I feel, not to put words in your mouth, has been a tool.
Oh yeah, like
transition into doing the things you want to do, so that you can step away and say.
100%. Like if I wasn't an NFL player, you guys wouldn't give a shit about what I was saying right now. Straight.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't here.
They don't play football.
I wouldn't know.
Maxwell said, to be fair, I wasn't here in the beginning.
But back to that Haiti experience, like me, I'm an entrepreneur at the core. So honestly, I know I'd be here regardless because like, I'll take you all the way back, my whole story. Like when I was in 5th grade, I used to bug my older brother to drive me around town because I had Craigslist ads to go cut grass. When I was in middle school, my mom had a Sam's Club card. She used to buy me the purple wild berry Skittles for $13 for a box of 36 Skittles. And I'd go to middle school with my regular backpack and a sling backpack and sell those Skittles for $1 a pop. Bro, my spread was $23 a box of Skittles. I was one of those kids, but straight up.
From Sam's that you get for like $10.
Straight up.
I'll sell them like for a quarter each.
Straight up. When I got to high school, right after I graduated, my little brother had cracked his phone for like the fifth time. And my dad was like, I'm not getting you a new phone because like I'm sick and tired of paying for it. So I was like, you know what, let me just check it out because I'd like to figure things out. So I went to YouTube, figured out how to fix an iPhone, bought him a screen on Amazon for like $26 and took me about 6 hours. But I fixed it and it worked. And literally, ding, I was like, oh shit. Took my phone out, literally spent the next 48 hours taking it apart, putting it back together, taking it apart, putting it back together, taking it apart, putting it back together until I could do it in 20 minutes. Went to college as a freshman. I was the iPhone repair guy. I bought screens for $27, fixed them for $60 a piece. I literally fixed about 3 to 4. I haven't asked my dad for $1 since I don't know when. It's like straight up, like fixed every single, I was the guy. Like, it wasn't even a thing yet. This is back in I graduated high school in 2011. So 2012, iPhone 4. So listen to this, back to the entrepreneur in my blood. Fixing those phones my spread was about $33 a phone. Bam, straight word of mouth. I wish there was Facebook ads and Instagram ads and stuff like that. I wasn't thinking like that. I was just in the moment. Then I found this company in Alabama that bought all my crack screens for $4 a screen. So I was taking all my screens and then sending all the cracked screens out to Alabama, getting like $4 a screen. Bing! Went to every single iPhone repair shop like in the Monmouth area, bought all their screens for $2 a screen, sold them in Alabama for $4 a screen and flipped that profit just like that. And like the iPhone 6 is what put me out of business. Straight up. It was too expensive to fix and I didn't have like my own store unless I was buying them like 500 screens at a time. It wouldn't have. So back to real estate, same exact thing. I was a business real estate major. The girl I was dating at the time, her dad was a house flipper and I wanted to add value to him because my major was business with a concentration in real estate. Added value every single day. I put my classes at night on purpose and football was at like noon or like 10 o'clock. I'd wake up at 5 a.m., go from Monmouth up to Essex County, so super North Jersey.
Nice,
something like. I mean, we flipped about 10 houses in about 3 years. And it was like, you ever read, anybody? No, like I was knocking down walls. I was straight up putting down floors, literally like the most unorthodox thing we ever did. We turned an attic into a master bedroom, but you ever seen a set of stairs not on a stairwell? Like, no, like an actual, it looks wild, just a big ass line of just stairs. And it wouldn't fit through the front door, but on the second floor was a huge window. So I paid all my teammates to come up with me, come up to North Jersey and help me lift this stairwell through this window. And lifted it up, and they caught it up out the window, and we put the stairwell in. Like, that's how just like, it is what it is. And then moving forward from real estate, when I was in that January through April, like I said, I was consuming all that content for 4 hours a day. Because that was my first time in life where I was like, wow, if the NFL doesn't work out, there's no dorm room to go back to. There's no, like, you got to live at home with mom and dad, or you got to get a job. And you're stuck in that system once you get that job. Like 40 years, 40 hours a week, retire on 40% of your income, 40. Live for another 40 years and die. That is what 97% of America does, straight up. Like straight up, 9 to 5 is how you survive. I'm not trying to survive, I'm trying to live, feel me? But back to real estate, when I became a rookie in the NFL, I was like, you know what? I made it. I was like, whatever city I go to, I'm doing real estate. Started with the Cardinals. Most guys on my team lived in Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, beautiful $1 million houses, stuff like that. I bought a fourplex with, anybody, raise your hand if you know what an FHA loan is. Federal Housing Authority loan.
That's like you got the 4 units, which is one house.
You can put 3.5% down on a single family home, or that's what they tell you.
Yeah, but it's just 4 units.
You can go all the way up to 4 units with it. So I bought a $268,000 fourplex for $13,000. A dollar never came out of my pocket since. I lived in 1 unit, rented out the other 3. My tenants paid my mortgage, and I made an extra probably $100 to $200 a month. And then when I got cut from the Cardinals and went to the Lions, took that unit, and now my manager Airbnbs it out. And that unit itself would rent for $750. With Airbnb, it makes like $1,400 to $2,000 a month, depending on the time of the year.
Yeah, and that still goes back.
Still goes back to me. So now that property cut cash flow is like $800 a month, something like that. It's wild. And then like moving forward, went to the Lions, did the same exact thing. Lived in a duplex, lived downstairs, Airbnb'd upstairs, lived for free. Went to the Giants. I lived in like a short-term spot, but then once I got done, lived at my parents' house for a little bit. Like straight up. And now I've leveraged my relationships in the NFL. Like I'm going to Germany at the end of next month to go raise $150 million to go do a bunch of different properties all across the country. Like, just all about what you're passionate about and double down on it. Like, that's what it is. Any more questions? I got about 5 minutes, so.
How can any of us contact you?
Yeah, I was about to just ask that.
Straight up. That's my email, and then social media is all the same. I haven't written on a chalkboard in so long. This is crazy. But straight up.
It's 2 S's like that. S in your last name and then the S.
I'll bring it up.
It's a
like
dot.
Twitter and all that. Since we're talking about that in the lesson. Period.
Straight up, the fortune, one of the biggest quotes I've ever heard since I've been in the NFL. The fortune, look at that. The fortune is in the follow-up. 98% of you guys will not reach out to me. That's a fact. 2%. That's what you guys say. But look, the fortune is in the follow-up. Like, we get presented opportunities every single day. But none of us follow up. Like, follow up with me. Like, this is my passion, helping people out and just growing. Like, I don't want anything from you. I just want to give value. It's crazy, right? Any more questions?
So when are you gonna go on TED Talk?
That's one of my. That's like one of my life goals. That's crazy. That's dope. That's my life goal.
I can see it.
Any other questions?
I do, but I don't got time.
Just that, bro. I got 5 minutes. Get it in.
What was your best interaction with like Larry Fitzgerald?
Larry Fitzgerald, Larry legend, bro. He's the man. I'd say the best interaction. I mean, I got a dope picture with him, but the best interaction was probably. Oh man, he's dope. I mean, his locker was right next to mine, so I was with him like every single day. But I guess one of the coolest things about him. Most guys in the NFL are, you can be a prima donna. You don't gotta really show up to practice if you don't want. If you're getting paid that type of bread, like you can honestly not practice until Saturday, and then play in the game on Sunday. You can literally chill. Like Fridays is a walkthrough day. Like the general rule around the NFL is you do not go to the ground on Fridays. You know how Larry makes those wild well, you've seen the wild catches he's made. He'll do that on a Friday, get the wind knocked out of him, and be like hurt damn near. And like, because that's who he is, like at the core. Like when it comes to me, like he reminds me of myself in terms of people like that. People will say, oh, he's lucky he's in a situation, or oh, he's talented. Like, no, he's worked his ass off. And like the same exact catches that you see him make on Sunday, he's making them on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And like that's probably the biggest thing I've learned from him, just watching and observing.
How do you leverage a VA loan to that patient?
Oh, you have a VA loan?
Yeah,
You get 4 unit, no down payment.
Yeah, I know
Boom.
that. That's what I'm trying to.
Call me, straight up.
Yeah, so the questions I had was like.
Call me, I got you, straight up.
That's why
Straight up. My dad's ex-military, my uncle, I'm all helping them do the same thing, bro.
I'm actually going to Tampa in like 3 weeks. I'm going to spring break.
Are you from Florida?
No, I'm from here, but I'm looking to buy in.
I got a guy who can do VA loans in Florida.
In Brandon.
Got you.
In Brandon on the Riverside area. So I've been scoping like the last 6 months. I've been going back and forth.
That's
I'm
fire.
trying to buy a house down there.
Don't buy a house.
Don't buy a house?
No, don't buy a house.
Buy a unit.
Buy 4 unit.
Yes, well that's what I've been looking at.
Yeah.
Like these units. And I was planning on doing the same thing?
I got a guy he literally services VA loans, and I've tried to help people across the country, but he only can do it with people who are doing it in Florida. So I got a guy for you. He's one of my business partners.
Yeah,
Got you.
That's something I actually wanted to.
I got you.
I was literally just talking to her.
It's fire.
About that.
That's fire. Any other questions before I go? Guys, thank you so much. It's been a blessing.